what issues should we as Black people stay out of?
Woo!
Nothing. No, I'm just kidding.
My mind flashes back to the storm the Capitol thing. Right, there was like three black people there. I think one of them was lost. The other two were confused. But it was not a black moment, right? This was not a moment for our people to just like be out there wilding out, either attacking the Capitol or defending the Capitol. Like that's not our fight. And I think that happens frequently. Like there's tons of fights that have nothing to do with us that we should stay the hell out of.
Agreed. I understand your point, but I don't know. I think I feel the opposite. I feel like it's all our business now. You put us in here. Like, we're here, we're in America. Like, black people, black is usually identified as like a black American. Like, that's usually what you're talking about when you say black. And since we live here, it's all our business, because storming the Capitol is something not only political, but, you know, there are people out there with hateful flags and, like, you know, there's stuff that we should still be paying attention to. And also, for meme content and for, you know, what we do on the internet, black Twitter style, I think everything.
But Black Twitter did this thing from a distance. Right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about like boots on the ground. We need
boots
to be
on the
there.
ground.
Hell no.
Yes,
can you imagine?
I agree.
Can you imagine? Right. Let's say these people were storming the Capitol, and some black coalition saw this and it's like, nah, we need to defend our nation, and they went there to defend the Capitol. They would have been gunned down as like
Absolutely.
the culprits, like the masterminds behind this thing.
You're
like
right.
there's so many situations that skewed against us. I would rather not throw us into shit that we don't gotta be thrown into.
Yeah, actually, absolutely. Like physical presence, no.
No,
But it's our business now because we live in this country.
Facts. We ain't going nowhere.
It
We
could
ain't
be our
going
business, but we could just quietly observe from a distance.
Yeah.
As we usually do, as we did with the Capitol.
Yeah.
Someone come look at this. Someone
Nah,
come
like
look at
we
this.
have to make like it's our nature to joke about everything. So and I kind of be in the know about everything.
Right.
You said why? Because
Trauma. No.
Yeah.
What do you
Yes.
guys think? Okay, what about other marginalized groups when they're kind of fighting their fight? Do you think like we should get involved, or is that really not like, you know, I've heard people say before, like even with, you know, issues of like Latino immigration or like what's happening with the Asian American community right now, I've heard people say things like, well, these groups haven't all stepped up to help us historically, demonstrate anti-blackness on their own. Do black people really have to step up for these communities?
If you want to, but I don't think you should be like black people should have to. If they feel empathy towards like a certain situation, they could if they want to. But also keep in mind that you might be faced with some anti-blackness. So
Yeah. Anti-blackness is going to be wherever you go. That's not explicitly black, but I mean that's a really good question because like the historically powerful black movements have always been attached to other non-black things. Like the civil rights movement in the '60s was like massively helped by the whole anti-war, you know, Vietnam War or whatever, like movement, and also like women's rights, LGBTQ. That there were other movements kind of like being swept up in this whole civil rights thing. That's why it wasn't like black rights; it was civil rights, and you can't exclude black people from it. And that's how we were able to make the strides that we did. But it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating to see like our movement constantly get co-opted, and whatever progress we make is only a fraction of the progress we could make. Like it's hard to watch.
I agree. But I think it kind of is like our business because, again, like we all live here. Like again, like the Black Lives Matter movement, it wasn't like just all black people out there protesting. And if people felt the same way that we did, it would be only black people. Like if people felt that way,
Right.
like to say like, oh, it's not my business, it would be only black people out there. And you need all of the voices, not some.
Yeah.
I do think we have more cause to feel that way, though.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree. It's like, again, like you don't. I feel like black people have historically seen everyone else be lifted up and like have still felt like they're at the bottom. Like you've helped with other movements, like you know whether it be like you know women's rights or whatever it was like throughout history, right? Well, of course there's black women, so you know that makes sense that you know those two things intertwine, but. It's hard to like watch everyone else like get theirs and you help them get theirs without getting yours.
Right.
And so I feel like that's specifically a black problem.
Yeah.
And especially with some of these communities, like especially what's happening now with the Asian community, black people feel kind of offended that, people are reaching out for help when they haven't felt that same kind of love back towards them.
Because there's some massive anti-black sentiments in the Asian community, like
especially around
historically.
beauty supply shops.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, as a black person, if you've been on the receiving end of that mindset, I'd be petty. I'm like, good luck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Struggle. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'll catch you on the flippity flip, but these movements aren't separate and apart from each other.
Right.
We're constantly moving against the same maybe 2 or 3 forces that keep instituting their will on black people, on women, on homosexuals, on whatever. So it makes sense if we're gonna make consistent change, we do have to like speak up for each other every once in a while, even if we're not speaking for each other when we should be.
Right. I kind of agree with Sharon though. I feel like if you personally feel that, yes, but I'm never gonna tell another black person that they have to help somebody else who hasn't helped them as a community, basically.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Jay, do you feel like do you feel like
Do I feel like what? Ask question mark.
so let's say that you were hypothetically involved in like a white male rights movement. Would you
There's a name for that. No one likes them.
do you feel that black people should, participate, help you, uplift you?
No. Not at all.
That's gonna be your answer for everything.
It's kind of like, it's like they haven't gotten theirs yet. So why am I going to jump in front of the line?
Yeah, like I think that's the part of the line too. Like, if we're talking about the Asian American community, right? They have been also marginalized in different ways than black people,
Right.
but they're still a minority, and they've been marginalized in certain ways that we can probably relate to.
Right.
If there's a movement around white men who probably have the most power, I'm not even really arguably.
I'm gonna say
In America
there is
right
a
now.
movement around white men, and we don't like that.
Yeah, it's then like. Where do we fit in that? Like,
I think it's
there's
that,
no like even like related like community. There's no like
Right.
sense of like
it's that
similarity
concept
there.
of punching up and punching down. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's
You don't even have the power to help them out of their situation,
Yes.
so why would they look to us for help?
100%. My question
because
was,
it's not about
you
us bringing them out of the situation. It's about there's only so many voices you can stand against, right? Like we talk about Black Twitter all the time. Like black people are still a very small fraction of the country, but Black Twitter has made movements. You know what I'm saying? Black Twitter has a voice, and that's the kind of voice you can't really ignore.
Yeah.
And when you have like a collection of voices, no matter how much you dislike the individuals, when all of them are standing against you, you do not want to piss them off.
Yeah. I'll say that my question was totally fake, just my form of reparations to make Jay feel uncomfortable. But we'll get to
I love
reparations
that.
later.